Hi, I'm Nikki.
And I'm Megan.
Welcome to the Grimdark Diaries.
We're your geek gal pals obsessed with true crime and all things dark and disturbing.
Hi, hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
On another episode. Are you thanking me?
No, our listeners for joining us
just
for another
checking.
week. Why would I thank you? Thanks for joining me in this episode that you're going to do.
Thanks for your friendship.
Oh, okay. Thank you for your friendship. You can tell Nikki and I haven't seen each other in a while.
Yeah. Megan, we got some surprises in the mail today.
Oh, I like surprises. What'd you get?
Yes. Our dear friends at the Middle Aged and Creeped Out podcast sent us some awesome
What?
merch. Yeah, we'll post it on our Instagram.
Did they actually?
Absolutely, they did.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. Todd,
Everyone,
Nate, and Sean.
go follow them. I'm assuming you're all already following them and listening to them.
Absolutely.
Because we've already shouted them out a bunch, and we know that you all do exactly what we say.
Unless this is the first episode you're listening to. And then go follow the Middle Aged and Creeped Out podcast with Todd, Nate, and Sean because they are phenomenal.
Yeah, and they have a new logo.
Yeah, they do. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I think the artist is one of their wives. Sean's wife, maybe? Or Todd's
Oh,
wife?
really?
Yeah, they mentioned that on one of the episodes. I was like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful artwork.
I don't know how I never heard that. I must have, I don't know, in one ear out the other.
I also just pick like random episodes and listen to them based on their category that they're talking about. Like just whatever I'm interested in that moment, I'll just pick one of the random episodes. And yeah, it just happened to be one of those that I listened to. I was like, oh, that's amazing. I love that artwork. It's beautiful. I think it was one of the earlier ones, like near the beginning.
Oh, well, want to hear about a murder barn that I was in?
A murder barn? What?
Maybe. It could have been a murder barn.
You don't actually know.
Barn. I'm not sure.
Oh, you're just making this all up. It was a barn you were in.
No. Okay. So I was on vacation with a group of our friends.
Yes.
Megan was invited. She ghosted us.
I did for my own family.
She went to a different family thing instead of our chosen family thing.
Yeah.
It's fine. She missed out on the murder barn.
Stop having them on the same freaking weekend. It's always on the same weekend. I don't know why that always happens. Anyway, continue.
So we were staying at a friend's cottage, which is out in the country. If you're from Nova Scotia, it is out in the valley in Canning, Nova Scotia. And the Friday we were there, because where his cottage is right on the water, it can be quite foggy sometimes. And it was quite gray and foggy. And I cannot sit still. I am not a person that just sits around and relaxes. So I was like, we got to do something. I'm going crazy. So two of my friends that were there, Sandra and Joni, I had mentioned to them that there was this antique shop in Canning in the town or near where this cottage is, because this cottage is kind of out in the wilderness area. But in the town, there was this antique shop. And last fall, I tried to go to it. When it was open, I drove all the way out there and it was just closed.
Oh,
for no reason,
I think
even
you
though it was
told
business
me
hours.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I told it on the podcast because
Yeah,
it said I went
you
to a
did.
pumpkin patch.
Yes, you did. Yeah, we did talk about that on the
Yes.
podcast. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, so I was like, it's Friday. This antique shop is supposed to be open. And my two friends, Joni and Sandra, they were like, I'm down to go to an antique shop. So the three of us hopped in my car and we drove out there. First of all, we got 5 minutes from the cottage and it's like the sunniest, most cloud-free day ever. Because there's some kind of weird time blip when you get to the cottage
As
that
soon
is
as you're
hazy and gray and foggy.
When you're on the physical coastline, that's usually when it happens. It
Oh my
turns
goodness.
Foggy and cold.
Yeah. So we drive. It's like, I don't know, maybe like 15 minutes away, maybe 20 minutes away. So we get there and it's this huge old barn. And you kind of got to walk on the property up like a dirt driveway. And then we noticed there was a piece of paper on the ground with a rock on it. And it said, "We're open." And then it had a phone number written on it. And then when we got up to the door, which was wide open, there was a doorbell and there was a sign that said "Ring doorbell." So we rang it. Nothing happened. Like it dinged inside.
Yeah.
But like we didn't see anybody, but the door was wide open and the piece of paper on the ground, the sketchy piece of paper with a rock on it said, "We're open." So we went inside and we noticed, because it was big from the outside, it looked like a big barn. And then we noticed there was a set of stairs up. And when I say this place looked like a hoarder's home, it really? You couldn't see a foot in front of you. Stuff was stacked up.
What?
It was indescribable. I wish I had have taken pictures. We took some pictures of objects we saw in there, but we didn't take an overall picture, and I have regret. It was like very overwhelming being in there. I was like, oh my. So first of all, we were just like, oh, this is not what we expected this to be.
Right.
So we started like making our way around the mountains of things looking at antiques, and there was some nice antiques in there. Like we spotted some nice stuff, very nice vintage stuff. So we're making our way around, but it's near impossible because to see everything, because everything was so piled up, and like it smelled like mildew in there. There were spiders everywhere. The floor was filthy. We were like, oh God. And then so we're still on this main floor, and then we make it to one side, and it's almost like a separate section of the barn, and we go in there and there's no lights. So we're like, oh God. So we have our flashlights on our phones looking around.
What?
Like, is there anything good in here? Because we love a bargain. And then at one point I was in that room with no lights on, and my friend Sandra was beside me, and I looked up, and one of the beams in front of us had a bunch of eyeglasses hanging, like glasses, just all hanging, different sizes, different prescriptions, and there was like 30 of them in a row. And I was like, is this where they keep their trophies?
Oh my God.
So that freaked us out. And so then we still didn't find anybody in this place, and it was pretty big, and stuff was stacked so high, so we were like, maybe they're upstairs.
That's why there's
like,
a bell, because he's probably like right on the other side of this giant pile of stuff that you were beside.
And there was like aisles you kind of had to walk down. There were so many rows of stuff. So we go upstairs, we go up to the second floor, which we think is the only other floor, and we realize there's like 5 or 6 floors in this place.
How? Oh my God.
It was huge.
Wow.
Some floors, they were like, half of it was normal size, half you had to like crouch down. Like I'm only 5'4", and I had to bow my head down so I wasn't hitting my head. There was like rugs all over the floor, and like this is you can tell this is an original barn. Like when I say barn, it is a barn.
I am legitimately concerned for the stability of this building with all of that stuff.
I would walk on some boards that have rugs, and the board would like go down, and I'm like, oh my God. And every floor was just as jam packed, and it would be like you'd turn around and there would be 20 rusty old saws piled up, and then you'd look over here and it would be like an entire table set, like a table with all of the settings and all of the chairs and all of the place settings, and I'd be like, this is weird.
What a random assortment of things.
Yes. It was so, and there would be anything you could think of. There was like everything in there.
It sounds like
furniture,
a junkyard
house
hopper.
Things.
Like somebody who goes through junkyards and picks up all the stuff that they think they can get money off of.
It's insane. And there was nice stuff in there, but then there was also nice stuff that like clearly had never been taken care of. Like I have a weird thing for copper. I love the look of copper.
Yes.
And I love copper pots that I can put plants in.
Yeah.
My mom called it a banker pot. They kind of look like a little cauldron. They have little feet on them, and they're like a metal pot. I have a lot of them. And I found like a whole like table of them, but they were so like not taken care of and dirty and rusted, and like they just weren't. So a lot of stuff was like that. We get to one part and we look above us, and there was a bunch of like old farm stuff. So there was like sickles and like giant rakes. If you've ever seen a giant like vintage rake to rake hay on a field, they're huge and terrifying. They're ginormous. And so we're on like the 5th floor of this thing, and we still have not seen a person.
Did you ever find the person?
Well, so we're up at like the very top, and then there was like 2 extra floors that they were blocked off. We couldn't get up the stairs, but there was stuff up there, and we were like, okay. So then we heard somebody downstairs. Like we heard movement. So we're like, oh, the person must be down there. So we go down there and there's just a young couple. Or no, there was like one lady down there and she had something in her hands. And at first I thought maybe she was the owner. And then she was like, do you guys know where the owner is? And we were like, no, we've been here for probably 45 minutes and we haven't seen anybody. Like we were all the way up and there's nobody here. And then this other couple came in and they were looking around and they went upstairs. And so the girl called the phone number on the piece of paper to be like, I want to buy this thing. She came here specifically for it. And she's like, it went to voicemail. Like, I don't know. And then like maybe 15 minutes later, this older gentleman comes up to the door and we're all standing kind of near the entrance, but like inside. And he looks so shocked to see us. And he goes, I thought I locked up. We were like,
oh my gosh.
No.
This is so typical rural Nova Scotia.
Oh my God. He was like, I had plans to run some errands in town and go to the bank. I could have swore I'd locked up an hour ago. So then we were like, oh my God, we almost got locked into this damn place.
Could you imagine in that hoarder? Right? Oh my Lord. Oh no.
We would have had to call our husbands and friends to come friggin' break us out of this bar. And it was like 40 degrees in this town. Obviously, there's no air conditioning in this place.
Yeah.
I reached a point after 45 minutes. I was like, the mildew smell is starting to really get to me, guys. I don't know how long I could last.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, you wouldn't last very long being stuck in there either.
Oh my God, no.
Okay, well, that definitely sounds like it could have been a murder barn.
Yeah, it was almost a murder barn. But we did end up buying antiques because we realized he was one of those people that he would have a price on something of like $50. And he's like, oh, do you want it for 30? And we'd be like, yeah. He didn't even have to try and haggle. He'd
nice.
be like, let's see how I can do. What's the price on this? 46? You know, for 25? And we'd be like, yes. So once we realized that, we started going back through and getting all the stuff we wanted.
Yeah. He actually is the one haggling against himself.
Really, we didn't even try. And he was just like, yep, let's see if we can do better than these prices.
Oh,
and we were like, these are your prices,
yes,
though.
That's right. Oh, I haven't seen that in a long time. Let's lower the price on that. It's been here a while.
Yeah, so you better believe next year when we do our trip to the cottage, I'm going back to that murder barn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I'm more prepared and less fearful for my life.
Right. Yeah, bring a better flashlight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, well, now let's story time. 'Cause it's pretty late at night for us. We're usually done recording by now.
True.
We're wildin'.
We're going to be a little while before bedtime tonight.
Yeah, my voice is just going to get raspier and raspier.
Yeah, and we've already been struggling talking before this, and we talked for much longer before our original recording, so.
My theme for today was a motive that will make you scream.
Oh, yeah, right.
I'll tell you, there's a lot out there. People do crimes for really stupid reasons.
I was going to say, I was really hoping for like a happy ending. Can I get this
it's not a good scream.
Motive scream with a happy ending, please?
No, maybe I'll add this category back in. And whoever gets it next has to find a happy scream.
Perfect. I love it. Still crime, but happy.
Yeah. Today we are traveling to South Wales and to the year 2010. Rebecca Aylward and Joshua Davies were 15-year-old kids that had just started dating. Also, some sources call him Joshua and some call him Josh. And so when I was typing this, I was like listening to a documentary as I was typing stuff. And some people called him Josh and Joshua. So I realized I probably typed 50-50, one or the other.
Okay.
So it's the same person.
Okay.
Josh or Joshua.
Perfect. I love it. Also, I was thinking 2010 was not that long ago. And then I'm like, wait, nope.
It's 12 years ago.
2022. It's
22.
been 12 years since the story
2010
happened.
is the year I graduated from university.
No, it was not.
Yes, university, not high school.
Still, that's...
I graduated from high school in 2006.
Oh my gosh. 2010, I'd already lived in Calgary and moved back by then.
You're only 5 years older than me.
Way older.
It's only 5 years.
It feels like a lot more, though, the more we talk about different stories and stuff, like where you were at a certain time and where I was at a certain time. It just feels like a lot
It only matters up until you're like 20.
Yeah. 20, well, Yeah, mid-20s. I met you when you're in your mid-20s and I was like 30.
Yes.
So anyway, back to the story.
Okay, back. So Rebecca was born on the 28th of February in 1995 in Maesteg, South Wales. She was described by her friends and family as extremely kind and an amazing big sister. She had a great sense of humor, and her best friend said she was one of those people that always seemed happy and energetic. Rebecca was really close with her mom, Sonia, as well as her two younger siblings, Jessica and Jack. Rebecca's parents were divorced, so it was just the four of them, just Sonia and the three kids that lived together. She went to a Catholic school and was a very smart kid. She had her sights set on working hard in school, studying lots, and becoming a barrister, which is a type of lawyer.
Yeah.
She wanted to do something that made a difference. So that was her life plan. She just wanted to do really well in her studies, work hard, and achieve. She had even taken some GSCEs early, which I had to Google because we don't live in the UK. And those are General Certificate of Secondary Education. And they are highly valued by schools, colleges, and employers. And she did those early. She did really well in them. And then she was expected to do really well in the rest of her exams. She was working super hard. Like, she wanted to succeed in all these things. She very much had that, mindset of putting in the work to get top marks in everything.
Absolutely. Applying herself for all
Get it,
she's
girl.
worth. Yeah, absolutely.
She also, on top of all this hard work at school, she was very social. She had a wide circle of friends from a variety of schools. And I feel like that goes along with her happy, energetic personality. She just kind of seemed to be one of those people that other people were just attracted to. Joshua was said to be a relatively normal, well-behaved boy growing up. He was the oldest of three brothers and had a very loving relationship with his parents. They were said to just be an all-around, nice, normal family. Growing up, Josh did really well in school, and he seemed to have a pretty bright future. He never got in trouble growing up. He just kind of seemed to be, doing well. Middle of the road, succeeding.
Love it.
Right?
So far.
He was extremely popular and was what kids considered a kind of top dog in social circles. And he loved this.
Being the center of attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
Being that person that everybody wants to hang out with, all the girls want to be around, everybody wants them at their social thing. He was that guy.
I know
that
the type.
Everybody always wanted. Some people did find him to almost be too much. Once he'd reached the top of the social circle, some people found him very arrogant and said that he gave off that vibe that he thought he was better than some people.
Oh.
Which, for some people, they find that attractive.
Right. Yeah.
But other people didn't like that about him.
Mm-hmm.
He just seemed very full of himself all the time. Like he knew he was the best kind of thing. Rebecca and Joshua had known each other for a couple years, but just decided to start dating in 2010 when they were both 15. Rebecca's mom, Sonia, admitted that she had found him very friendly and charming. So I feel like he's probably one of those people that can weaponize charisma.
I was literally just thinking the same thing, how charismatic he is and uses it to his advantage. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Joshua got along really well with Rebecca's family, and since family was so important to Rebecca, this made Joshua a great person to be dating. He was treated like a member of the family right away and welcomed into their home with open arms. It was even said that Sonia treated him like another son already, even though they'd only been dating for a couple months.
Wow.
Unfortunately, they ended up having kind of an on and off relationship. Rebecca definitely challenged him and she stood up to him, which from all accounts was not something Joshua was used to. Because he was so personable and he was so high up socially. He often had a lot of people wanting to be around him, not questioning him. He was kind of the person in charge all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So family and friends speculate that that was one of the reasons Joshua kept breaking up with her, but then also coming back to her.
Because she was
because
good
she's
for
the first
him
person,
in
right?
that way, challenging him.
Yeah.
He needs that to humble himself, but
Absolutely.
I guess when you're that age, it's hard to be humbled.
Yeah. And I think that's exactly why, you know, he wouldn't like that she stood up, so he'd break up with her. Because it was always him doing the breaking up. But then I feel like that's something you also kind of crave. Because if everyone is just going along with you,
that's true. And if she kept wanting to get back with him, because if he's doing the breaking up, she's probably not wanting to break up. And
correct.
Coming back to him. So he probably wants that too, that attention from her wanting to come back into his life and be his girlfriend again.
Yeah.
So he probably craves that as well.
Rebecca's relationship with her dad wasn't great, and she was by her mom's side throughout the divorce. So one of the reasons speculated by people as to why she kept going back to him was partly because she was looking for some kind of connection of love and support herself, and just trying to find like a sense of stability in relationship, just because that other part of her life was a little hectic and up in the air.
Right.
Joshua at times was a very controlling person. He often tried to exert control in the relationship. Rebecca kept diaries, and Josh became obsessed with seeing what she wrote in them.
What? He would read her diaries?
Yeah.
What? That's not okay. That's an
No,
invasion
especially
of
when
privacy.
you're 15. You write such crappy things in those diaries because you're just such a...
Oh, you're literally spilling
idiot.
out every emotion you ever have as a pubescent teenager.
God. I would be mortified if I were to read my diaries from when I was in like junior high.
I'm gonna be real with you. I had a whole whack ton of diaries from when I was like 15 to 17, maybe 14. I can't remember what year it was that I got my first one. Anyway, like 5 or 6 different diaries. I put them in a box in Calgary before I moved back to Nova Scotia. And that box has disappeared. So
somebody has your diaries.
Someone somewhere, hopefully not, but someone somewhere may have my diaries from my teenage years, which are so embarrassing. Like, just, unleashing every bit of emotion that I had as a child. And that was a lot. Remember my stories about how hateful I was and how much emotion I have? Yeah, that was all in those diaries.
I wish you had them. I want to read them.
I was like,
Megan's thoughts.
I kind of expect a movie to be made of them sometime. And just
someday
like,
you're going to be in the theater watching a movie. You're going to be like, this feels really familiar.
This is like weirdly similar to my life. Like, I don't know. Could you imagine? Oh my God. That would be so embarrassing. Anyway, they're out there somewhere. If you find them, just burn them. for my sake, just burn them.
What we got to do is we got to make merch, so we sell little Grimdark branded diaries.
Oh, what a great idea. I don't know why.
I got lots of ideas.
I literally never thought of that.
Yeah. I got this marketing degree. I can put it to good use.
Yeah, you absolutely should. We need to get merch going. Come on.
So he was obsessed with seeing what she wrote in there, to the point where she actually had to ask her mom, Sonia, to hide them in her room so that he wouldn't go rooting through her room looking for them.
She'd rather her mom have the opportunity to read her diaries than her boyfriend. Yeah. Wow.
She was really, her mom was like her best friend.
Aww,
so I feel like
really
anything
sweet.
She wrote in there, she probably would have told her mom too.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
Yeah. Josh would also sometimes make up rumors about Rebecca, which I don't know why you'd do that about your own girlfriend that you're dating.
That's weird. Why would you do that?
I don't know. At one point, he told people that Rebecca was pregnant, which was not at all true. And then he told Rebecca that she was going to go along with it. And if people ask, then you're going to say, yeah.
What? Why?
I don't know.
Like, what?
I have no idea.
Okay. That is not okay.
No. She did not go along with it. She did not like that.
Good for her. Yes.
On top of being controlling, he was also obsessed with knowing what other people were thinking of him. He needed to know how people viewed him. He needed to know his status in their eyes. A documentary I watched said that because of his age, they can't diagnose him as a narcissist, but that he definitely had narcissist behaviors.
Makes sense, yeah.
I'm not sure what age you can diagnose somebody narcissist. I guess you have to be an adult, a full adult.
I guess, yeah, that makes sense.
In January 2010, the pair split up again for the final time. They had just spent a really great weekend together, and then out of the blue, right afterwards, he texted her and just broke up. Just said he wanted to break up.
A text breakup? Come on.
It was a text breakup.
Please, people, do not text breakups. Oh my gosh, that's so ridiculous.
It was a shock to Rebecca because there was nothing to prompt it.
Yeah.
Especially because he had just spent the weekend with her and her family.
Yeah.
And he had literally described it as the best weekend he had ever had.
So what is his reasoning for that then?
I have no idea.
Another woman.
They didn't have any issues. They didn't have any fights. He just, after the weekend, texted her and was like, we're breaking up.
Is he mentally okay?
That's
debatable.
But still, we're going to
okay.
put a pin in that.
Okay. Pin.
After the breakup, Rebecca was obviously devastated about this. She didn't want to break up. She thought things were going well.
Yeah.
But, you know, she's 15, so she's trying to get her life together, move on, find a new relationship. But Joshua kept in contact with her, and he would even say stuff to her at school like, you know, your mom loves me the best, so you can't go out with anyone else.
Why would he say that?
So manipulative.
What? Oh my gosh, I hate that manipulation behavior. Like, oh, it's so see-through. Like, if you aren't that type of person, you can see right through it.
Yeah. And he broke up with her.
Yeah, there's absolutely no reason for that.
No.
But she was probably better off.
Right?
Is my thought.
She was.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that right now.
Good, I'm glad.
So eventually she did start seeing another boy. His name also happened to be Josh. Joshua didn't like this. What?
So what a coinky dink.
Yeah, she likes Joshes.
Apparently. How many Joshes are there? Like, I don't even know if I know a Josh.
You know what? I don't think I know a Josh either. Maybe that was the generation after me named their kids Josh. Because I'll tell you what, there was like 100 kids named Ashley and Amanda in my grade.
Oh, yeah. That was a popular name with my age grape. No.
Your age grape?
Age group? I don't know why I said grape. Anyway.
We had a lot of Michaels.
Jennifer
was popular.
Mark.
Nicholas. We had a lot of that.
No, I don't think we had a lot of Nicholas. I think I
Really?
knew one Nick, but I mean, it would be Nicholas, but he went by Nick.
Yeah.
No, there were actually quite a few Megans too. It was very confusing.
There was no Megans really. In my older than me, grades ahead of me, there was Megans. Mm-hmm. Never any in my grade.
Yeah. I feel like that name's dying out.
So Joshua didn't like the new boyfriend. He was not feeling that. He was not happy that Rebecca moved on. It seemed like he expected her to be very crumpled and broken and, you know, just pining after him forever. Mm-hmm. So when she wasn't, he began a ruthless campaign against her. He would threaten her all the time. He'd tell her he'd kill her, he'd ruin her life. To make this all worse, he was high up in social rankings, so people would do what he said, and there was times that he made sure that she was excluded from friend groups or social events, and he would tell people not to speak to her so she'd get ignored in school. which again all blows my mind because he broke up with her.
I don't get it. He obviously had that other manipulative agenda where he wanted her to come crawling back to him.
Yeah. Flash forward to 9 months after their breakup, and they had kind of just not really had a lot of contact. You know, it had been a while. I think his campaign against her may have simmered down a bit. And out of the blue, Joshua texted Rebecca and asked if she wanted to meet up. This actually excited Rebecca, despite him treating her like shit these last 9 months.
Oh, no.
She was a teenage girl, and when you think you're in love with someone, no one can tell you otherwise.
I mean, that's true. Fair.
Ask Megan about Jamie Campbell Bower.
Oh, don't even get me started. I am not a teenage girl, but I could talk about him all day long.
No one's going to tell Megan shit about Jamie Campbell Bower right now.
And I could listen to his voice forever and a day and be happy. If anybody ever asks me what I would take if I had to take one thing on a trip or a vacation or on a deserted island by myself, it would be anything that Jamie Campbell Bower's in. All of his songs and his, I mean, that's not one thing, but I would take his.
Just him in your ears 24/7.
Him in my ears, yeah, absolutely.
If anyone is unsure who that is, he's who plays Vecna in this season of Stranger Things, or Henry Creel.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, damn. That is, no, everyone. You think that people that watch Stranger Things haven't seen season 4 yet?
Absolutely not. No, you better have seen it. And if you hadn't, well, you know what? It's too late because, you know, that's your fault for not watching it yet. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. And go look up all his interviews and all, oh my gosh. And his music. Whoo. He goes by Jamie Bower for his music. So I highly recommend checking that out. Oh, anyway.
Calm yourself, Megan.
What have you done? Continue your
Soak
story.
up the drool from the side of your mouth.
Literally.
So then you know what Rebecca was feeling.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So when she got this text, she kind of thought that this was going to be it for them. They'd make up and they'd be getting back together. Rebecca was so excited that she even went out and bought a new outfit to wear for their meetup. Her mom remembers she was so excited for the meetup that she spent all day doing her hair and makeup. The original plan was that Rebecca's aunt would drop her off at a particular spot where Josh would meet her, and then her aunt would be picking her up later in the evening. Since, you know, these are both children and they cannot drive yet.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
When she was dropped off, though, Joshua wasn't there at the spot. And he started texting her directions on where to go to meet him.
Weird.
He
like
texted
walk?
her very weird.
Like she had to walk to where he was? Okay.
Yeah, her aunt had already left.
Okay.
And he would be like, oh, he would be like, oh, I'm just here. I'm at this spot that's not too far away. So he'd be like, walk up this street, you know, go left, and you'll see me there.
I am suspicious.
You should be.
I think she should also be suspicious because that is not right.
He was doing this. He was
also,
texting her a bunch of different. No, keep going.
The aunt should have like made sure that he was there because hello, you're leaving this 15-year-old child alone on the side of the road by themselves.
And I mean, I'm sure it was in like not the middle of nowhere spot. It had to be near town because I know she walked through town.
I know. I'm just very
I think especially it's not like a stranger. It's her ex-boyfriend that she's known for years.
Yeah, fair enough. You
don't assume the worst. You assume
or something.
Yeah. So she's getting all these different text directions to all these different locations. And when she'd follow the directions and she'd get to one, he'd text her another location. So she was walking all over the place trying to find him. Based on texts she sent, she was not happy with this. She felt uneasy going to all these different places alone.
It makes me
and she couldn't understand why he was getting her to do this.
This makes me so sad that he would play her like this. Like, just how excited she was and got a new outfit and was super excited to go see him. And then having him play with her like this makes me so upset. Like, just knowing how she might feel in this moment, like uneasy, yes, but also like annoyed and hurt. Like, that's a super hurtful way to, try to meet up with somebody when you're so
prepare
excited
your emotions.
I know it's
gonna get worse.
I feel like I know it's coming. Not exactly, but
she started to get worried because he started sending more erratic directions, and so she called her mom.
Good for her.
She told her mom that she was really anxious about all of this, and she didn't understand why he wasn't where he said he'd be. Sonia also didn't feel good about this, or she didn't like that she was so anxious about this.
Yeah.
So she told Rebecca to just forget it and come home.
Yeah.
Then, while they were on the phone together, Rebecca says that she actually sees Josh now. So her mom said that she was going to stay on the phone with her until she was safely with Josh, because she saw him just in the distance of where she was. So Rebecca stays on the phone. She walks to him. She says, "Oh, I'm with him now, Mom." And she says to her, the very last thing she says to her mom is, "Bye, ma'am. I love you," and hung up.
Ma'am. Oh.
It says M-A-M, but they're British. Oh, so I think it's like ma'am. Ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am.
Oh.
I'm not sure, but that's how it was written by mem.
That makes me so sad, because I know that you said that because those were her last words to her mom.
Those were her last words to her mom. A few hours later, Rebecca did not come home. It was very unlike her to not only not come home, but to not contact her mother to let her know where she was, and very odd for her not to answer her phone, which she always had on her, because Sonia was calling her phone when she didn't come home. Mm-hmm. Rebecca was always a very responsible person, even for just being only 15. She always kept in touch with her mom. She always let her know where she was. Her mom was calling her, texting her, and nothing. Sonia called Josh to ask where she was, and he told her that he'd never actually met up with her.
What?
And Sonia was obviously like, "I was on the phone with her and she said she saw you and she walked to you."
Yeah.
And he said, "Nope, that didn't happen. I didn't meet up with her."
Bullshit.
I like your bullshit detector. It's strong today.
I'm just like, there's literally no chance that that's accurate. I believe
that's
yes.
You're on a good track,
Okay.
Detective.
Thank you,
Megan. Keep it up.
Thank you.
That night, Sonia called the police to report Rebecca missing. The next morning, around 9 a.m., Rebecca's body was discovered. It was found in a wooded area, and she was lying face down with her arms splayed out, and her skull was completely caved in.
Oh my gosh. Like, holy crime of passion.
There was a large, heavy rock near the scene, and it looked pretty evident that is what happened to her.
Oh my gosh. That poor girl.
Within hours of her body being discovered, Joshua was arrested. Because the mom obviously said, that's the last person she was with.
Right.
But he wasn't the only one that was arrested as a suspect. Another boy in Joshua's friend group was also taken into custody. The two boys instantly blamed each other for who killed Rebecca.
Huh.
When the police started their investigation, they were shocked to find out about all the bullying Joshua had done, both in person and online, to Rebecca. But then they found out the most shocking part of it all. Joshua had a group of close guy friends that would meet up every Saturday morning for breakfast in a cafe. He would always talk to these friends about Rebecca and would say awful things about her to them.
Every Saturday morning?
Yep.
What? Like...
Oh, and they had group they'd like group chats. I don't know if they were texts or messenger or what it was, but they were also in group chats, and he would text them awful things when they weren't together.
Like, holy obsession. Like, let her go.
Right?
Why do you have to obsess over her? They probably thought that was weird too, those kids. But of course, he's the popular kid, so they wouldn't want to be like...
Right. He's the leader.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. That annoys me so much.
At one point, he started saying to these friends that he wanted her dead.
Uh-oh.
And not just in a, ugh, I'm so mad at her, I could kill her kind of reference.
Right.
Like, he would go into detail saying that he wanted her to be no longer alive, and he wanted to be the one to take her life.
Like, I don't understand why. He broke up with her.
Yes.
Why?
And he could have had her back anytime he wanted.
Yeah, it sounded like she was really excited to get back together with him.
Oh, yeah, she would have gotten back with him at any point.
But heaven forbid he ever go back to her and try to make up with her and get back together with her. Has to be her crawling back for him. Screw this guy.
Very much screw this guy.
Fuck. So angry.
You just wait. We didn't even get to the motive yet. We didn't even get to my theme.
Right.
These friends claim that they didn't think he was serious when he said this stuff. So they would sometimes encourage it and egg him on.
Oh, no.
This is what they claim.
Absolutely not the right thing to do.
No.
Don't ever think your friend is just joking.
No, never. Ever, ever.
I don't ever, even in anger, say that I wish somebody was dead, because it's just...
No.
It's not right, and you never know what's going to happen. Not only to that person, but like in your life in general. And you don't ever want to be taken out of context.
No. If I'm going to say something about somebody, it'll be like, I hope they step barefoot on a Lego every day for the rest of their life.
I think you actually have said that about somebody on this podcast before.
Or I hope that every time they go to drink their coffee, it's cold.
Down the wrong hole.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, you did say that one.
Every time you drink
recently.
something, it goes down the wrong hole. And you start coughing.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Or every time you cook something, you think it's nice and hot, and it's like super hot on the outside, and then you get to the center and it's cold.
Or like super cold on the outside, but like burning, scalding hot on the inside.
Yep. Absolutely. And when you go to eat a burger, it just falls apart. Because I hate that. My hands get all messy and I'm trying to scoop up the fillings.
No, I need a spoon for that. No, that's the worst.
Those are the threats I wish upon people.
We are the worst kind of humans that do no real wrong things, but
no.
like slightly annoying things.
Yeah, I just want you to be annoyed for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So Joshua kept embellishing his threats about Rebecca, and he devised several ways that he would kill her, and he told his guys about it. So one scenario is that he'd like to take her on a stroll on a riverbank, knowing that she can't swim. He would push her in and then be extra cruel. He said he'd jump in after her, pretend like he was going to save her because he can swim, to kind of give her that hope, like, oh, I know I'm here to save you. But then he said he'd actually just make sure that she'd drown.
Wow, that's pretty cold-hearted.
That is awful to be 15 years old and think about that.
Oh gosh, like you're not gonna get any better with age, so
no,
you're gonna be a serial killer extraordinaire.
The second plan was to poison her. He did research and he decided that foxglove and deadly nightshade were the best way to do it. He even got a hold of those and he mixed up some poison.
What?
He
actually did this?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Also, Nightshade immediately made me think of The Nightmare Before Christmas. Where Sally puts the nightshade in and covers it up with frog's breath and tries to kill the professor.
Yeah,
Anyway.
He was pulling a Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, he was. That's what we're going to call it.
After his arrest, when police searched his grandmother's house, they actually found his poison concoction mixed up.
Wow.
So There is some suspicion that Joshua did go through with the poisoning, but that it wasn't effective. But this is not proven. But
speculation warning.
Speculation warning.
Unproven.
At one point during these 9 months before they had this last meetup, and after he told this poison stuff to his friends, Rebecca was hospitalized with an extreme stomach illness of some kind.
No way.
They tried to figure out what was wrong, and they couldn't determine what kind of illness it was.
So that's very possible that he did try that. Oh my gosh. And she apparently was
very sick in the hospital for several days.
Did they not do...
And then she just got better.
Like whatever they do, what toxicology or whatever that would tell them what's in her?
I don't know. Because if you had a 15-year-old kid come in, would you be testing for these poisons?
No.
Like, that's not a common thing.
No. I guess, do you have to test for that specific thing? Or
yes, you do.
Oh, you do. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, they would.
So I'm assuming they were looking for some kind of severe stomach illness.
Gotcha.
Norwalk disease or whatever
right.
people have now. I don't know. This is all speculation. So whether that's a coincidence or not, I don't know. But he did have that poison.
Wow.
And he did tell his friends he was going to do that.
Crazy. Like, where do you even buy that shit from? Like, I wouldn't even know where to begin.
The black market.
At 15 years web. Old, I guess he might have known how to surf the deep web, but
I don't know. Maybe there's like poison dealers like there are drug dealers. I don't know, Megan.
Sounds about right. I don't know.
I don't leave my house. I don't know what happens outside.
I don't know enough about it. I feel like we should do a story on the dark web soon, though.
I mean, we did kind of once.
Sort of. Did we?
I did that Hitman
one. The Hitman one. Oh my God. Yeah, but that was a Hitman site not on the dark web.
Yeah, but then remember we talked about the dark web.
Yeah, we did. We did end up talking about it. So we're due for another one. This is what I mean.
I'll let you handle that. I don't know how to use the normal internet.
I don't know how to use the dark web, but, research is fun.
So another one of his favorite threats to tell his friends that he physically wanted to break her neck with his bare hands.
What the?
That was a very popular one.
That is very personal. Like, that is an extremely personal attack.
Yes, for someone that literally did nothing to you but loved you and wanted to date you.
Right?
His friends actually became so annoyed at his constant scheming and boasting about killing Rebecca that they were fed up with it. So not only is he talking about this to friends in group chats, in public places, but he's talking about it so much that his friends are sick of it.
How much do you talk about murdering your ex that your friends are actually tired of hearing about it?
That's bad.
Like obsession.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
One friend even said to him that if he just went through with it already, he'd buy him breakfast.
Why would you encourage it?
He said he'd buy him a hot breakfast.
I don't think he needed any incentive.
I don't think he did.
No.
But that apparently was incentive enough.
Yeah.
Was to win a bet for hot breakfast.
Wow. Wait, that was why he did it? For the hot breakfast?
We don't. Okay. We'll put a pin in that.
Okay. Oh my God. I don't like where this story is going.
So at this point, we have written evidence. We have multiple witnesses all hearing him say that he wants to kill her. So it's not looking good for Joshua. When Joshua was questioned, he said what had happened was him and Rebecca were playing a joke on his friend. The friend is unnamed, probably just because of his age.
Right.
So we'll just call him friend. So him and Rebecca were playing a joke on friend. He invited friend, and Rebecca pretended to be dead to scare him. Once the friend got close, she jumped up and scared him. And then according to Joshua, the friend was so angry at this prank that he killed Rebecca out of rage.
Okay, that's...
How would you rate that story, Megan, out of 10?
I would rate that a -5 out of 10. No originality, no basis, no nothing, no anything. I don't want to double negative and prove myself wrong.
No, yeah.
No anything. That story's got nothing to back it up.
It doesn't, because turns out it was just all made of lies.
Lies and deceit.
I just said made of lies, and then instantly my head internally said made of pies, and now I'm thinking about pie, and I would kill for a pie right now. That's how my brain works, just so you know.
Do not like pie.
You don't, but there's so many different kinds.
Okay, so I don't mind like the banana cream pies.
That's the worst kind.
No, it is not. I actually
It's literally the worst kind. That's just whipped cream and banana.
Okay, but I don't like pie crust. I can't eat it anymore anyway, so it's not a big deal. But I do not like pie crust.
Oh, my favorite part of a slice of pie is the back with the crust, where you just get a little bit of filling, but you get like a nice thick burnt crust.
It's so dry and like, I don't know. I love it. I feel like it turns into
you put a little ice cream on, a little vanilla ice cream.
Nah.
Also, I like pumpkin pie, which only has the bottom crust.
I don't like pie with fruit in it.
What?
Or like berries or anything.
Everybody
like that.
at Megan.
I know.
Because there's so many different kinds.
I don't mind banana cream pie, but I do not like
the worst kind.
I don't like apple pie. I don't like cherry pie. I don't like blueberry pie. I don't
blueberry?
No, nothing.
Have you ever had lemon meringue?
Yes. And I don't mind it. The lemon hurts me because of the acid in it. But I just don't like the crust. And like banana cream pies, I don't know what it is, but the banana cream does
it's just whipped cream and fake banana flavor.
Something to the crust that makes it a little more enjoyable. I don't mind chocolate cream pie. I don't mind coconut cream pie.
The worst kind. All the least flavorful pies are what Megan likes. This is awful.
I do not like pie. I
learned a lot about you today.
I can't. Oh, okay. Oh. Okay. Well, I do not like pie.
Don't tell my husband that. He likes pie more than most things.
Really?
Yeah, at the grocery store, they sell these little hand pies. It's like a little single serve pie.
Okay.
And I'll be damned if he doesn't get a damn hand pie every time he goes to the grocery store.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and then he just eats it straight out of the box, and he doesn't put it in the oven or anything or the microwave.
I'm also not a very sweets kind of person. I more prefer like salty, savory snacks.
Yeah, the pie crust is kind of salty.
Gross.
It's buttery.
Grosses me
out.
The
buttery, flaky
No,
crust.
even tarts, like nothing like that. I can't eat anything. Anything with that kind of pastry crust, I'm not a fan of.
Oh, see, I like the crust. But it has to be flavor filled. Like butter tarts, completely uninterested. Not interested. That is flavorless. Nothing with pie crust.
Okay.
I don't want that. I want fruit.
Fruits.
Yeah. Anyway, I make a really good pumpkin pie, just so you know.
Well, I can't eat it.
Maybe I'll give you some pumpkin pie one day.
If it's gluten-free, maybe.
It is.
What?
Yes.
You make a crust that's gluten-free?
Yes.
Well, maybe. Maybe I'll give it a shot.
It's delicious.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
I promise you. I only make it in the fall, though, when I'm feeling spooky, so you'll have to wait till then.
Totally fair. What do you mean you feel spooky all year round?
I do, but I feel extra spooky in the fall. Well, pumpkins are in season then, and then get fresh pumpkin.
Very true.
Okay, so pies, lies. That was all lies. Okay. Now, Joshua did obviously the next logical thing when you murder your ex-girlfriend. He invited all of his friends to come view the body.
What?
Yeah.
He invited them to come to where he was physically to see a dead body that he had killed?
Correct. That is correct.
That is a lot of witnesses.
You are correct.
And I feel like that was stupid.
Yes.
Winner of the year for stupidity was Joshua.
Yeah, because guess what? The two friends that showed up, they told police. Well, they told their parents, and the parents went to the police.
Good. He deserves to be told on.
These two boys met Joshua outside of the wooded area after he invited them to see what he did. But to get up to the wooded area where Rebecca's body was, you had to walk up a hill, and one of the boys had a broken leg in a cast, so he couldn't make it up the hill, so he didn't go. But the other friend went, and that's the one that got arrested because he was there, so that was very suspicious.
Fair.
Joshua, he took him directly to Rebecca's body, but they did obviously go to their parents. Like I said, they went to the police, and then they would testify against him in court.
Good. I'm glad they did that. Well, obviously they were probably scared of their own, where they would end up if they lied for their friend.
Right.
Quote unquote friend. Wow. I can't believe he did that. What an idiot.
Yeah. When it did go to trial, the media was wildin' with their headlines about how Rebecca was killed over the bet that won him free breakfast. That's what all the headlines were.
I can't.
Murder for free breakfast.
Like, really, though? Oh my, did he? Obviously, he didn't get his free breakfast. Or, wait, if he went to jail, he probably did.
Okay. So the trial started on June 20th, 2011. Everyone that attended the trial said that Joshua had a huge smile on for a lot of it. He seemed smug and confident in his case. He seemed completely uninterested in what was actually happening in the courtroom. The only time he would seem interested at all was if a witness was on the stand speaking about him. And then he would bring his attention to what was actually happening.
Ugh. That personality is so gross to me. Wow.
Yep.
That is like the most narcissistic behavior that you could possibly show.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
I'll also point out that at this point, his parents, and I don't know what their final feelings were, but his parents fully believed he was innocent.
Oh my God. Well, now we know where he gets it from.
Yeah. The trial lasted 5 weeks and included all the details of the teen couple's very turbulent relationship, along with all the things Joshua had said about killing her to his friends.
Wow.
They were also able to show that the route that Joshua had her walk on the day of her murder, from that initial drop-off point to where she was murdered, was a specific route that avoided CCTV footage completely. One of the spots he had her walk to was actually right outside where the other Josh that she had dated briefly lived. So then it kind of seemed like maybe he was trying to even make him look possibly guilty by sending him there.
Right.
The documentary I watched said the prosecution presented forensic evidence that proved that sometime after Joshua and Rebecca met up, he was the one that smashed her skull in with the very large, heavy rock. It didn't say what the evidence specifically was to tie him to it. I don't know. Maybe some DNA or something having to do with the rock. I'm not sure.
He admitted that he was the one who did it though, right? Like,
nope.
He never did, actually?
Nope. He is pleading not guilty in this trial.
No way.
They even had the rock in court as evidence, and it was very heavy. So that kind of was definite shock factor for the jury and everybody there.
Because of how heavy it was?
Yeah, it was a huge... They said that the person, I don't know if it was the bailiff or whoever went to pick it up, had trouble picking it up with one hand. It was so big and heavy. Like he had to...
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They also presented text message conversations between Joshua and his friends. So prepare yourself for these and prepare to want to throw things out the window.
Okay.
In it, he said, so I'll go back and forth between him and unnamed friend. Joshua, what would you do if I actually did kill her? Friend, oh, I'd buy you breakfast, mate. Joshua, don't say anything, but you may just owe me breakfast. Friend, best text I've ever had, mate.
What?
Seriously, if it is true, I am happy to buy you breakfast! !
Wait. Was he texting this after he killed her? Or while he was thinking about doing it?
when he was thinking about doing it.
Oh.
This was right before it happened. Does that sound like a conversation by a friend who thinks their friend was just joking?
No, it sounds like the first thing I thought of was maybe he's thinking, thank God these conversations are going to end. Not thinking about Rebecca's life at all. Or he is totally for it.
It's very weird.
For him killing Rebecca. Yeah.
It's very odd. I would never go along. But
No,
anyway.
I wouldn't either. But that's what it sounds like to me that he's doing.
Yeah, it gets worse. So the friend said, best text I've ever had, mate. Seriously, if it is true, I'm happy to buy you breakfast. Joshua, I hope by then it will be done and dusted. Friend, I want all the details. Happy face. Joshua, large breakfast with extras of everything. Friend, sick boy. End of conversation.
What does that mean? That end part confuses me. Like, it sounds like it's code for something.
No, I think he's calling him a sick boy because he's talking about how he wants a breakfast for killing his ex. Like, you know how, like, have you ever said that to somebody? Like, oh man, you're sick in the head.
Yes.
That's what I gathered from it. Like, oh, you're a sick boy. You're already talking about getting your breakfast.
Wow. Oh my gosh. What a morbid conversation.
And that's just one conversation. That was what was in the documentary I watched.
Right.
So there's more from these friends too. They really spilled the beans. Right after Joshua killed Rebecca, one of his friends actually had contacted him. I don't think he knew he was killing Rebecca. He knew he was meeting up with her. And he must have, I think he called his cell phone and he asked him, are you still with Rebecca? And Joshua said, define with. Because at that point he'd murdered her.
Oh my God.
They used that in court to really show that Joshua didn't regret what he just did.
No.
Somebody who regretted somebody did something in like a crime of passion, that would not be their response.
Right.
There was also record of him saying, I tried to break her neck. She was screaming. So I picked up the rock. The worst part was feeling and seeing her skull give way.
Oh. Oh my gosh. I don't want to have that image in my head anymore.
No, he said this to his friends.
Oh my God.
So even with all this evidence presented, Joshua still stuck to his story that it was the friend that went to the scene. That guy, he was responsible. He stuck to that original story.
But he literally was just caught with the messages that he did it.
He sure did.
Okay, just checking. I was on the same page.
We never said he was bright.
No. True.
What also seems particularly sick about this whole thing with the friend that he invited there is that he didn't just invite them there to brag about what he did. When they got up there to the body, he told the friend to touch the hood of her sweater. So I feel like he was already setting up this friend to have his DNA on her body.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, what an asshole.
Yeah.
Frig.
When the friends testified, they had more details about that specific night and after Rebecca's death. Joshua and one of his friends, they don't specify which friend is which, so I don't know if this is the same friend that's doing all of this or if this is a different friend. They're all unnamed just because of their age.
Right.
So it said that Joshua and one of his friends went back to Joshua's grandmother's house. Joshua changed his clothes, and then they sat down and they watched a super violent movie on TV. Joshua made sure to make a Facebook status saying that he was just chilling with his friends that night. He even later made a Facebook status update that said, "Good day with the boys and lovely breakfast," with a super smiley face, like the eyes and the capital D.
Damn, he got his breakfast.
Sounds like it.
Ugh. Oh my gosh! I cannot believe this ignorance of children. Like, wow.
It's pretty bad.
Wow.
That same night, he had also made sure that he sent Rebecca's cell phone multiple texts asking where she was and saying stuff like, get in touch with your mom, she's worried about you. So knowing that he killed her, he was sending her all these texts.
Ugh.
After 4 days of deliberation, the jury found him guilty.
Yes.
When they announced, right, well deserved.
Thank goodness.
When they announced the verdict, there was a lot of emotion from both families, but Joshua himself showed little to no emotion. He was sentenced to life in prison with a... What?
Sorry, he sounds a little psychopathic. Like, he sounds like a psychopath.
Yes, he does.
In every definition of the word.
He doesn't sound healthy.
No.
Upstairs.
Not at all. And he didn't get, like, any kind of assessment for mental health?
I didn't see that anywhere.
Wow. That's really sad.
He was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 14 years.
14? Sorry.
He was a minor.
He should have been tried as an adult for that kind of...
Trust me, I agree.
Horrific.
I think it's some kind of a... From what I read, it sounded like some kind of a law there that they could only... They had to put a minimum of 14 years. That doesn't mean he's going to get out in 14 because he has life, but he can start applying for parole
but
after 14 years.
But they released his name, right? So...
Yeah.
They might have tried him as an adult.
Maybe.
Because
all it
I
said
feel
was
like,
that because of his age, it was a minimum of 14.
Right, but because of his age, they also would have kept him under the Juvenile Protected Act and not released his name if they tried him as a
Do they
child.
have that in the UK?
I don't know, actually.
Yeah, it could be different.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe if you're convicted of a crime, they publish your name.
That's very possible. Maybe if it's a murder, they publish your name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even after this conviction, he still stuck to his story that he didn't do it. It was the friend that did it.
He's delusional.
Well, then in October 2018, so he was tried in 2011. In 2018, Joshua finally confessed. Just randomly one day, he asked, it was near the anniversary of her death, he asked to speak to his probation officer, and then he admitted that it was him. He did it.
What did he think that was going to do for him?
Well, you might think, some people might think, wow, maybe he confessed because he has remorse.
No.
He's
not what I was thinking.
Feels guilty.
No. I was thinking that he was thinking he could get less time served.
Well, you're not wrong. Because what everyone else is thinking is that originally, if he had just pled guilty, it apparently actually would have shaved some years off of that minimum where he can apply for parole.
Right.
I don't know what that is, why you get less if you plead guilty. It seems like you should get more.
I feel like if you plead guilty,
people from the trial,
they likely think that you are more likely to be rehabilitated because you have proven that you're willing to admit that you are at fault.
And I guess that's the only way you could get people to plead guilty, because if it was more time, nobody would plead guilty.
That's true too, yeah.
So it kind of seems like now he's just changing his tune in order to see if he can still get those years shaved off his sentence.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
He also still won't say why he did it, which is what's driving her family really mad. They just want to actually know why.
Yeah, like what is his motive? It could not have been the breakfast. Like that's just ridiculous.
No, that was just the like flashy clickbaity
yeah
reason behind it. And it was in all of his texts saying that that's why he was, doing it. But I don't think that was actually the reason. Her mom, Sonia, also, she felt that him not admitting to it originally and not pleading guilty was his idea of enjoyment because it meant he could put her family through the pain of facing a trial that has to include all of the awful details and photos and evidence of what happened to Rebecca.
Yeah. I believe that.
So the latest updates I can find are in 2018 when he came forward and said he did it. In 2018, he would be 23 years old, and he is said to be a model prisoner.
Well, as a manipulative narcissist, you would be.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Articles said in 2018, he was applying to have his sentence cut by up to 6 years. It was in the articles that I read that Joshua's claim is being assessed by prison service officials who will decide whether to refer it to a high court judge. If a court recommended cutting his sentence, he would then have to convince the parole board he is safe to be on the streets.
Wow.
Sonia and her daughter Jess, at the time of this in 2018, were preparing victim impact statements in case he does apply for the review of his sentence. Mm-hmm. Apparently, because he was an offender under 18 in the UK, he is subject to a tariff review, which will look at his minimum term sentence and decide whether it should be reduced in high court. And Sonia said, going through the statement, I have to reread everything. Every so often I have to stop. It's so cruel that we have to do it. If he is released, he will do something else. I honestly believe it. He's evil. I've spoken to police officers and criminologists, and they all say the same thing, that he's got the makings of a serial killer.
100%. I said that earlier.
Yeah.
Wow.
With almost a year in custody before his sentence, it means that he could possibly be released in October of 2024.
Oh, shit. That's not far from now.
Right? And it says, I wrote down that the Ministry of Justice confirmed that he is eligible for that, but I couldn't. And it said that it will only be granted if the court feels an offender has made exceptional progress while in prison.
I hope they can.
But I couldn't find anything after that. There was nothing, no other updates. So I would assume he's still.
It probably was scheduled for 2020 and then COVID and
everything got pushed
and all that stuff. So I would be shocked if all of those professionals who are trained in psychology couldn't see through his manipulation. Yes, he's a model prisoner to the correction officers maybe, but I don't know about the people who actually monitor his mental health, and maybe hopefully there are people who do that, but I don't know. I really hope they don't release him in 2 years. That would be wild.
He sounds like
way too
soon behind bars.
Because he'd only be what? If he was 23, that would make him 27.
He was 23 in 2018.
Now? 27 now? 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So
what year did I say?
2018. So it's 4 years,
24?
which would be 27 now. And then in
it'd be
2
6
more
years. Oh, now, he'd be,
And then in 2 more years, he'll be 29. So he would be super young if he got out in 2 more years. He wouldn't even be 30 yet, which it doesn't sound like he has any hope of any rehabilitation, because he doesn't sound like he has those remorse feelings or any kind of, oh my God, fuck. Sorry.
It's okay. We'll wrap it up.
Oh, okay. I know.
Megan's cat's wildin'.
Absolutely. Anyway, it doesn't sound like he's got the capabilities of actually having or showing remorse or having any of the abilities that would show them that he could be rehabilitated in any way.
No, he just wants his breakfast.
He's going to try to manipulate them, but once they try to get down to the nitty gritty, he's not going to know how to respond, because he doesn't actually have remorse or empathy or anything like that for what happened and what he did. Let's just hope he stays in jail for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's your turn.
My turn to roll. Okay. I gotta get my cat to bed, apparently.
Gonna get me to bed.
Yeah, seriously, it's getting late. Okay, rolling. Oh, damn. It's a 6. I don't even have the categories open. A 6 is... That's hilarious. Ghost.
Ooh.
I feel like I always get the paranormal ones. I love it. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Thank you. Thanks for that story. That was really good. I got riled up and now I have to try to sleep. So thanks for that. If you would like to follow us on social media, you know how to find us. We are the Grimdark Diaries. All in all places. Oh my gosh. Instagram, Facebook, and Grimdark Diaries on Twitter. If you want to send us an email, you can send us one at thegrimdarkdiaries@gmail.com.
Just one. Don't you dare send us more than one.
Don't send us.
You can send us one.
Send us
one
all
email
the
per person,
emails,
please.
and add
Don't
Nikki.
exceed your limit.
Don't exceed your limit. We only accept one email per email. If you are on an Apple podcast, go ahead and give us a 5-star rating and send us a comment. Let everybody know how much you love our podcast, because we would be super greatly appreciated if you did that. Appreciative is what I meant to say, not appreciated. And whatever other podcast platform you are listening to us on, if you want to go ahead and like, subscribe, follow, do all the things that podcast platform will allow you to do. If you can give us a 5-star rating, even better. You can do that on Spotify now, so go ahead and give us that 5-star rating. We would love you for that. We will shout you out if you let us know you've done that. And join us next week to see what I come up with for ghosts. And remember, a friend in the dark beats alone in the light.